What will pull you the way that I do? You searched everywhere, no matter where you look. You'll keep searching and searching your whole life through. Well, not when all comes up later. Let's go in, maybe.
In behalf of the Regional Director of the National Park Service Southeast Region, Mr. Bill Reynolds.
To all of our honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends of this facility, on behalf of the Regional Director of the Southeast Region of the National Park Service, Pat Hooks, we are honored that you're here, and we're honored to have this facility finally be ready to open to the public. It took 5 long years of hard work and collaboration and blood, sweat, and tears on the part of a lot of people. But I think everyone who sees and passes through this facility today will realize all of the hard work and all of the honest effort that went into it to bring it to fruition. I think we can all, as Americans, be proud of this facility. Thank you.
Next we have Joe McGinnis of Alabama Department of Transportation, Director of Alabama Department of Transportation.
Good morning. I'm absolutely delighted to be here for several reasons. One, it's a great day. 2, we're finished with the job, and so our work is about over. But the Transportation Department was a conduit through which the monies flowed for us to construct, to hire a contractor to construct a facility. We have some of our ALDOT people back here who's been out here before the dirt was scraped off, and Ed Phillips and several. I hope if you have a chance you'll thank them for their role in this. Things like this don't just happen. They take a lot of teamwork, and the mayor, everybody's to be thanked for working with us to get this to where we are today. We're absolutely delighted to be a partner in this. Governor Riley sends his regards and regrets. He's on an economic development matter this morning that takes him away, but his heart is here, and I know he'd love to be here if he could. My second boss in the state of Alabama, I'm a state employee, is here today, Lucy Baxley, our Lieutenant Governor, our lovely Lieutenant Governor, and I want to ask her to come up and say a few words, and we're delighted she's here with us today.
Thank you very much, Mr. McInnes, and to all of you, I'm delighted to be here to share this occasion with you. The state of Alabama just has so many riches of treasures like this all across the state, and I am so delighted that the immense effort that was put together to bring this here to recognize and honor an important part of the history of our state of Alabama. And to me, it is really a joy to be here. One of the best things, one of the very greatest blessings about serving our state in a statewide capacity is you do have the opportunity to go to all the different areas of the state to recognize and appreciate all the wonderful things we have here and how God has blessed us. And this is just another shining example of progress for all of us as we strive to work together to bring the state as one state together to the point of being the very best we can be. So thank you very much, and congratulations to all of you that had a role in bringing this to us. Thank you.
It is an honor to have you here this morning at this beautiful location. As we think about the foot soldiers who walked from Selma to Montgomery, and all of our ancestors who have gone on before us, I want you to know that I still hear them stepping in the name of love, stepping for righteousness, stepping for taxation with representation. You don't know how delighted we are to just have you here today. This site proves how great a country and a greater state that we live in, the state of Alabama. Once you have been wrong, we're not too proud to say we are wrong and to demonstrate it by letting our children know, here's what happened in 1965, so we won't repeat it. And I'm proud of this great state. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so happy to have you here. And on behalf of all the elected officials, which we occupy some 80% of those offices with our honorable judge that is here and our past judge, and all of our people who have been elected to office. I see our Board of Education person is present. All of our county commissioners, on behalf of those 4 women and 1 man who served on Whitehall City Council, we certainly welcome you here to this occasion. Let us also continue to remember John Hewlett, which was one of the 4th black sheriffs elected in this state and the first from Lowndes County. Let's pray for his family as we move on, because the baton has already been passed. And all we got to do is do what? Not lose sight, and let's keep on stepping in the name of love. God bless you and God keep you. And let's enjoy this weekend as we proceed. Thank you very much.
At this time, I would like to acknowledge the Selma to Montgomery National Historic Trail Advisory Council members. Could you please stand wherever you may be? I know we have a few here in the front. Past and present, past and present. Thank you so much. These people worked hard. They are throughout the Black Belt area, and they helped us so much with the development of the entire trail route. And we still got a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of work to do. We have Lowndes County. We're going to do some more stuff to Lowndes, but we're going to get Montgomery going. We're going to get Selma going. We have a lot of work to do. Now, let me keep this open. Let me keep this pretty open. If you have any desires to serve on any types of task force to help us develop this trail, let us know. We can sign you up so you can help us get this trail developed. So we won't miss no targets, so we won't miss any points, so we won't miss any histories. We want to get it done. We want to get it done right, okay? Next thing, we have some foot soldiers here. And I see some really obvious ones, and I hope if there's some that I missed, that you please acknowledge yourself, and we'll love to hear from you too. We have Miss Amelia Boynton Robinson here. Miss Amelia, what you want to say?
95 years old.
Let's get you to say something, Miss Amelia. I don't know if you can go any further. Can you stand?
Yeah, she can stand.
Oh, I'm just 95 years old. I had the most beautiful surprise birthday party, and people from all over the country sent congratulations. So I'm going to live at least 25 years longer. I do want to say that I am very proud of what's happening, because under the supervision of our last president, Bill Clinton, I went to sign that we would have this trail. And I have pictures of the tent city. And I keep them dear to my heart because of the fact this is a revelation. And I can look back and see what it was, and then now see what it is. And this trail is going to be one that I'm sure people will be coming from all over the world to see, with the great people we have who are responsible for having made this first stage of it. We all are going to be proud of it. Thank you, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Frazier. Dr. Frazier Reese, could you please say a few words if you don't mind? Do you mind? Okay. I'll put you on the spot.
I'm just delighted to be a part of this celebration, and certainly as I recalled back in Selma, Alabama, when I signed the official invitation inviting Dr. King to come to Selma during the voting rights movement, and then the kind of sacrifices that were made. And now I stand here this morning, it is still morning, isn't it? And to enjoy the fruition of a lot of sacrifices that have taken place. And I will not bore you with any further comments, but I'm just delighted to be a part of this celebration here today, because all of the sacrifices many people made on this trail has not been in vain. And so thank you for this opportunity of allowing me to be here.
a representative from the Lowndes County Friends group, or either just Lowndes County in general if you all want to represent the Friends? Other than the mayor, we know spoke. Anybody? Okay. Can we have the Montgomery Friends group, please? Dr. Gwen Pan.
Good morning. I am just elated, ecstatic, so happy. We had a hand in designing the Interpretive Center, and when I say we, I'm going to call names, Gwen Patton and Bob Mance. And the concepts that you see are the concepts that we put together on paper with the National Park Service, and they have not variated one iota. And we are just so pleased and so proud. Montgomery Friends wanted the first Interpretive Center to be in Lowndes County. We were willing to give up Montgomery so that Lowndes County could be singled out because of the rural conditions and the economic development. I had the privilege of teaching Johnny Jackson, the mayor of Whitehall, and so I'm pleased. I must have done a good job. And of course, he also raised me and his family. When you say Johnny Jackson, you're talking about the Jackson family. They were some bad people, and Papa Jackson was too much to behold. I'm going to sit down, ask you to enjoy. Would like to say that I helped organize in Lowndes County, in the Benton community down the road a piece, and the first public article or published article I wrote was on the Lowndes County Freedom Organization, the Black Panther as its symbol. So it's really full circle for me, Johnny. Thanks.
This is a vision come true. The Black Heritage Council of the Alabama Historic Commission began the work for the recognition of the Selma to Montgomery March in 1991. And the Selma Friends are grateful that we've had an opportunity to have input into this. And many of the people of Selma and over this state have served on the advisory for the National Committee. So we hope that you will get what we hope will inspire you to move on so that we can continue to develop the whole story of the voting rights movement as well as the civil rights movement. And thank you for the opportunity to serve you. I'm Loretta Wimberly of Selma, Alabama.
Charlotte Griffith, City Planner for the City of Selma.
Protocol having been established, I would just like to say good morning to everyone and to say that I rose this morning to read a letter on behalf of our mayor, James Perkins Jr., and it reads, Dear Honorable Mayor Jackson, it is with great honor that I extend this congratulatory letter to you, the citizens of Whitehall, and the citizens of Lowndes County on the grand opening of the first Interpretive Center located in Lowndes County, Alabama. Your tireless efforts have resulted in the offering of a national treasure that will remind the nation that the sacrifices made by so many martyrs are not forgotten. Your ability to collaborate with the National Park Service, the Department of Transportation, the Federal Highway Administration, the City of Selma, the City of Montgomery, and local citizens once again proves to the world that visions can become a reality when we unite behind a common goal. That goal has caused us all to pause and recall the many strands of thread that wove the garment of battle that gave all Americans the right to vote. It is therefore most important that Lowndes County, the City of Selma, and the City of Montgomery collaborate and move ahead with Phase 2 of the Selma to Montgomery National Voting Rights Trail, which is the development and opening of the Selma Interpretive Center. The trail of sacrifices in behalf of humanity is one that Lowndes County did not offer in vain. We therefore honor you and the efforts of the federal, state, and local partners for the commitment given to bring this vision into fruition. Selma will never forget your sacrifices. So with great joy, we say congratulations, and to God be the glory. With kindest regards, I am Mayor James Perkins Jr.
All of the distinguished guests and elected officials here today, let me congratulate you on being a part of this. What a wonderful opportunity for all of us to learn more about Alabama's history, our nation's history, and this is a great tribute to those of you who planned this and worked so hard to see this accomplished, and I thank you very much for doing this. I think it's absolutely wonderful. The teacher in me says that children can come here and learn so much about what so many people sacrificed to give others the rights that we now enjoy. As the Secretary of State and Chief Elections Official, I consider it very important what went on right here in this area. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Needless to say, I'm so excited about being here. When I go to speak to places all over my district, which of course is 20 counties, I always like to establish the connection. And for me, the connection is very serious here in Lowndes County. My great-grandfather, the late Stephen Bell, was born in Mosses. And I grew up running along the 400-acre farm of a man named LaRue Chisholm, who was the father of my aunt, Elzora Chisholm, and I just love it. So I love to make my hookups. But in addition, when I was 3 years old, my mother was called the jeans teacher here in Lowndes County. And on Cemetery Street, I used to come every day with her to work because, you know, you could bring your children then. So I have a hookup, if you will, with Lowndes County. And I want to tell you that as one who joined Dr. King's march, on my 17th birthday, March 25th, 1965, and as I told my mother when she asked me, well, why do you want to do that? I said, because it's important for me to march for my freedom and the freedom of my children, yet unborn, but I know they're coming at some point. I just don't know when, but I know I want them to be free when they get here. So I want to tell Gwen, who is my blood cousin, you know, I mean, we are cousins, we are really cousins, and we are also very dear friends, that I thank her for all of her guidance, because she literally has handcrafted me through this entire thing. I grew up in this movement with Dr. Gwen Patton. I grew up knowing how important this was in 1965. I am now, like Gwen, looking and seeing things full circle and thanking Almighty God that He has allowed me to see freedom full circle. Pastor Gratz, I delight in seeing my former pastor of the Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church and Jeannie here today. But it is good to see all of you, and I know that we're going to continue to press on for the cause of freedom, justice, and equality. Thank you so much.
We have with us Frances Smiley. Frances has been here from the beginning, way before my time. Frances, thank you. She's with the Alabama Bureau of Travel and Tourism. Afida, with Alabama Department of Transportation. I know many of you know her. She was before my time and during my time. Dr. Franklin. We worked a lot with Dr. Franklin at Alabama State University. We appreciate it. We thank you so much. Of course, still Advisory Council, Dr. Audrey, and so many of the Advisory Council members. We have a lot of friends here that I just really want. The National Voting Rights Museum, I see them represented. Joanne, thank you so much for coming down. I see a friend of mine that I haven't seen in a while. We thank y'all so much for coming down. We appreciate it. We got Scotty B over there for the soldier. Hey, Scotty. Oh, you want to say a few words? Okay, wait a minute. Let me recognize everybody real quick. And then, of course, let's see. We see Miss Brenda, Superintendent. Where you at? For Miss Brenda, y'all, former Superintendent of Tuskegee Institute, Tuskegee Airmen, Selma to Montgomery. Mr. Willie Madison, former Superintendent of, well, actually he was former, but Miss Brenda too, Horseshoe Bend, Tuskegee Institute, Tuskegee Airmen, Selma to Montgomery. Got all of this started for us. Scotty B. After Scotty B, we're going to go ahead and get served. We want you to go ahead and start eating, okay, and socialize a little bit. And then we're going to ask you to start making your way towards the Interpretive Center. We're going to give you tickets. It's kind of first come, first served. We got the dignitaries we want to get you guys through first. And then we're going to get you in the building. So after Scotty B, if somebody wishes to speak after that, please continue speaking and voicing all of your history while people are eating, okay? Thank you. Come over this way.
Following Southern tradition, I want to say good morning to everybody. I think very seriously we should recognize the work of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee that came into this county when people were very afraid because of Lolita was killed on the Highway 80 here. Stokely Carmichael, a close friend of mine and confidant, asked for those who volunteered to come into Lowndes County to work with the people. But most of all, we should therefore recognize the people that are not here. Those that right now work in the cotton fields that are not here. Those which have died, that right now in the various gravestones you see in the various cemeteries that were here. Those that risked their lives to allow us to sleep overnight in their homes. Those that risked their lives to allow us to give us rides back and forth through the county. It wasn't easy. Do not think it was easy. Anyone want to sit up here and talk on other kind of stuff, you can go fly a kite, because we caught hell. The whole nation came out against us and gave us purity hell by not giving us the necessary support. But being a guy in SNCC, a SNCC member, I'll still be in SNCC to the day I die. But until you tell the truth, you'll still be a fool and still be lost. But to those that backed us up, to the woman that fed the people, gave them water, that we watched over her well, Mrs. Mary Frances Mays, you got to think about her. She's 80 some odd years old, and she stood firm. She didn't back off. We didn't back off. I had to leave the state of Alabama based on things that happened in Tuskegee. And I was told time and time again, you can't come back here because you're still too hot. I'll stay hot to the day I die, because segregation is going to have to go. It's going to have to go one way or another. If I can take my hand and drop it into a well, I will do it. Thank you very much.
Washington is also here. We have Washington represented by the National Park Service. Steve, can you get right here because the mic is kind of short. Sure. And then Catherine, where you go? I saw you just, Catherine, I want you to say some words. You've been an angel. She's been a doll. Alabama Community Rural Enterprise Acres have been amazing. They are getting Lowndes County up and running. We appreciate it. We'll help you to the end.
My name is Steve Elkington, and I represent the Washington office of the Park Service, which all of you probably think are bureaucrats who are on vacation in August, and a lot of them are, so that's why it came down to me. But I have so many friends here that I've met over the years through this trail that I couldn't resist responding positively to the invitation, and it means so much to me to be here. I was not on the march because I was in college, but I did make it to the 1963 march at the Washington Monument and heard Martin Luther King give his wonderful speech there. So I've been a fellow traveler in this cause up in the north. But I come representing our director, Fran Manella, who is retiring from the Park Service in a couple of weeks, so she couldn't be here today. But there's several themes that she has brought to the fore in the Park Service that are alive and well here today. I want to mention two of them. One is partnerships. She's really put the pressure on that the Park Service be the best partner it can be. And I want to pay a tribute to my colleague, Catherine Farmer-Light here. Catherine is one of the geniuses at partnerships in the Park Service, and this event embodies that. So I have great admiration. I hope one day she's our director, our regional director. She has those skills. So, the other theme that I want to bring out from our director's legacy is health and fitness. Now you wonder, what does a civil rights trail have to do with health and fitness? But if you think bigger, what health is about is the vibrant potential of a nation. And this march, this story, the civil rights movement challenged America to be fully itself rather than just half of itself. And what I see in this trail embodying healthy partnerships that heal. And this visitor center, this trail, all the work that we're doing together as partners, especially the kind of work that Catherine does every day at Tuskegee, not just on this trail, but more broadly throughout Alabama, embodies that combination of partnerships that heal. And I just want to take a moment to pay tribute to that movement because we're succeeding. That's it.
While Catherine come up, let me also recognize some of our current superintendents. Judy Forte is superintendent of Martin Luther King National Historic Site. Mike Medell, superintendent of Little Rock, Arkansas Central High School. Yes, Mike. Where's John Bundy? John Bundy, superintendent of Little River Canyon, Russell Cave. Thank y'all so much for coming out.
Seen a lot of old friends. All right. Good morning. Good morning. I think that this is a very joyous occasion. You know, being a little girl growing up in Lowndes County and having people always coming by my family's house, Stokely Carmichael, Willie Ricks, and many others to share the movement. I think that had it not been for that exposure, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing today. And I think that this is an honor to so many people that are not here, and the impact that it can have on Lowndes County. Because see, the inside will change. I remember going to the Lincoln Memorial with my students when I was teaching. I was a social studies teacher. And I thought that my students should always know the connection between the democratic principles and what this was all about. And in doing so, I went back a few years ago actually, and saw that they had changed the Lincoln Memorial. Because you can't tell the whole story sometimes in one setting. You may have to do some changing. So this is a work in progress as it relates to the Interpretive Center here. And also, one of the things I like about this, that for the first time in years, I hear people talking about that history. Some people are coming forward sharing things that they never shared before. And I think if nothing else comes of this, we can reflect and not go back, but yet learn from those things and also be able to make the connection to today. What does this mean today? It means that we may have some restaurants in Lowndes County to accommodate those 200,000 people that's going to come over here to the Interpretive Center. That means we can have jobs. That means we can have hotels. Instead of people having to drive to Montgomery and drive to Selma to work, they can work right here. That means that the taxes that they can pay, that they will pay, will go to help enhance our school system, will help provide some of the things that we need here, where you won't see me on television talking about the people in the raggedy houses and the situations that they're living in, because we'll be able to take care of ourselves. So I think that we should look not just at the history, we should always look back so we can remember, because my father was one of those kind of folks, you came to our house, he's going to ask you who are your folk. And then we're going to have a history lesson so we can see how everybody was connected. But we also need to look at this so we can move forward. And as a result, I think that when we come back 10 years from now, Highway 80 will probably look the same, but just a little bit. Whitehall is going to be the city my father always said it was going to be. And not to offend the other parts of Lowndes County, because I'm from the 452 and I love all of Lowndes County. But Whitehall is going to be what it should have been a long time ago, with the leadership of Mayor Jackson and the Jackson family, who have given so much for us to we wouldn't even be here today had it not been for a Jackson family. And one last thing I want to mention, and we need to teach this to our children. Were there not a black middle class in Lowndes County, there would not have been a civil rights movement. What do I mean by that? If they didn't own their own property, where would the marches have stayed? Where would SNCC have stayed? And we cannot have a black middle class without having some capital. And I think that we need to take our strengths that we have, which is a very rich and vibrant history, and promote that history to the world, so that we would have people coming from around the world to learn about Lowndes County and its history, because it is very rich and vibrant and it can teach a lot of lessons. Thank you to the Park Service and all the partners that made this possible. On that note,
Let's go and enjoy some food, and then shortly you will hear back from us. If
Why are you here today?
I am here to further learn about the movement of the Civil Rights Movement in 1965, and to see the opening of a great center that will really help others to understand the struggle that blacks have had in the past, and hope that they will also carry the torch on, and to see that we have not, we have made some grounds, but there are more grounds to be made in order to further this movement that still need to have work done.
You had the guts to get involved as a little girl in the civil rights movement, and your mother here had the guts to allow you all to get involved. Now you tell me, where did you get those guts from, all that grit?
All that grit, I could say, came from my mentor, Timothy Mays, which is deceased right now. Timothy introduced me to the movement. Timothy explained a lot of things to me that I didn't understand as a young girl during that time, what all the commotion was going on. At that time, I didn't quite understand what was really happening.
How old were you?
Maybe 12 or 13.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe 12
now,
or 13.
Give that mic to Mama, because I want to hear how Mama had the nerve to let her children get out there and get involved in that march.
Got nerve and still got nerve. Because whatever going down, I wasn't afraid. And I went out there too. But I was afraid for my son, Timmy, so he told me, Mama, don't worry. So I'm not afraid. I told him I'm not afraid neither. So this white man asked me, you ain't scared? You got this white man living with you? I told him, you can come live with me. I'm not afraid of nobody. Because one thing about it, I told him like this, if you kill me, you're not going to eat me.
Would that march from Selma to Montgomery have been successful had it not been for citizens like you along the way?
Well, along the time, it wasn't. Because the only time I got changed to vote when the civil rights people's come in there. Before that time, they asked me about voting. I went over there to Hamel. And the man asked me how many seeds was in a watermelon. I told him I wouldn't know.
You have got to be kidding.
Oh, yes, he did. And I never will forget, he asked me how many watermelon seeds was in a watermelon. And I told him I wouldn't know. Did you know how many in there? I said, you cut it and count them, and then you tell. I said, I ain't cutting that. I said, I don't know how many in there. Because some watermelon got more seeds. How many grains of corn on a cob? Yeah, it's all kind of stupid questions.
Was that degrading? How did that make you feel as a black woman when you knew that you had a right to vote?
It really didn't make me feel no way. And I wasn't afraid. So I went to a PTA meeting about to Mobile. So this lady, she passed and gone now, Elizabeth Jackson. And the Dr. Henderson, there's John Jackson's sister. And Miss Sarah Logan, they asked, would you go vote? And I told them, I said, where is they voting? They said they voting over the Hamel every first Sunday, after the first Sunday, and the third Sunday. I said, well, who'll take me? I said, if you take me, I'll go. They said, we scared because we got a job. I told them, I said, if y'all take me, I'll go vote. And she said, you'll go? I said, yeah, I'll go vote. They said, we got a job. I said, well, I ain't got no job. I said, if you take me, I'll go vote. But I went over there voted, but they asked all kind of stupid questions, but believe me, I answered.
Was your husband supportive also? Or did you have to buck him to be that bold?
Well, he was there. But when I went to vote, he wasn't there. But I stood up. I always stood my ground.
All right, and sister, let sister have that mic. How old were you during this period of time?
18.
Were you a bold, bad mama, or were you scared?
I wasn't scared.
No, you wasn't? You got that from mama, huh?
I got it from my mama.
What's your interpretation of the days back then now? When you come here today and look at this history, what do you think? What do you feel?
That is sliding a little bit back.
You're worried?
Yeah. I'm worried for the next generation.
So what must we do?
They gotta get involved and do more into the movement.
You was telling me a very interesting story about the young black man that Miss Luzo was transporting back from the Civil Rights Trail toward Selma. Tell me about that situation.
We were, when we had finished with the march, had marched to Montgomery, and we were put on trucks to be brought back to, well, we supposed to have been put off here at, they used to call it the fork of the road right down here where we live. But instead, we was coming out of Montgomery. When we got, like, I guess it was Lowndes there, we saw this young man waving down the truck. And when he got on this truck, he said that a lady had gotten shot. And we didn't know whether he was shot because once he got on that truck that night, he like passed out or something. And we were all thinking that at that moment, we were all goners. And I remember my cousin and I getting down, when we got down on the truck, we started praying and hoping to God that they didn't shoot at this truck because we really didn't know what was going on. And we came, instead of dropping us off up here, they took us all the way back down to Brown Chapel. And my thing is, I really would like to know what happened to that young man.
That would be very interesting, wouldn't it?
I really would like to know.
Now, I find it interesting that you say that some of the trucks wouldn't pick him up. Tell me about that.
Well, we were told that the other trucks, I can't recall how many trucks left there that night with us on it when we was coming out of Montgomery, but I knew that there were trucks in the head of us. How many, I don't know. Because remember, I'm telling you that at that age, I was really young. You're just hearing bits and pieces and picking up bits and pieces of what was going on. So I don't know. Maybe they was afraid to pick him up. I don't know. It's just my theory. I don't know. But I just know that we were, and then they didn't really stop to pick him up. They slowed down. And someone lifted him up over and brought him up into the truck because we didn't really
So he
just
had
stop.
to hop the truck,
He
so
had
to speak.
that's it. He had to hop. He was running and someone pulled him in. And that's when he said to us that lady had gotten shot. We were like panicking. Someone started telling us, say, I want you guys to lay down. I want you guys to get down and you're going to be real quiet. Because at that point, we thought if they were out there, they was going to shoot at us too.
Okay.
But yeah.
And when did you learn the news that Miss Luzo had been shot?
That was the next day. That was the next day when they talked about that lady that had been shot. It was all on the news that lady had been shot. And we knew that guy was the one that was in the car with her. Because he said, when he got on that truck, he said a white lady had been shot. Yeah.
And it's really interesting that we've never heard anything about that young man.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a very interesting thing to pursue.
Right. I would like to know, is he still living or can he recall anything? I haven't read anything. Maybe it is something out there that we haven't read, though. It might be out there.
This many years later, your sister is worried. Are you worried, too, about the state of Black America at this point?
Yes, I am still worried. Yeah, because I feel like I'm hoping that the young people don't think that there have been changes. I'm not going to say there haven't because you and I both know that there have been changes.
Definitely.
But what I feel is though someone got to, like this center open today is showing them what has happened in the past. And someone got to keep information going to them to let them know that even though we feel as though we have overcome, there are other ways that could be, let me see what word I want to use. There are still a long way to go, and that we got to be watchful and prayerful because of the fact that we're really not really free as we think we are.
Let me talk to Mama again. Okay. Mama, are you worried about the state of Black America today?
No, I'm not worried at all. Because just like I said, whatever the Lord intends what to happen, it's going to happen. What ain't going to happen, it's not going to happen.
Okay, now you and your husband was bold enough to get involved back then. Were you middle class then, or what was your class level then as a family?
Well,
Would you have been a middle-class family?
Well, I would say the middle class.
You could say middle class because we own our own car.
Okay.
We work for white people. My father-in-law used to work for white people.
Okay, okay.
And the Ku Klux, they come with their guns and everything. Are you afraid? I said, no, I'm not afraid. And I mean, they marched down the road with the guns. But honey, when these civil rights was in here, Scotty B and all of them, Jimmy Rogers and all of them, got they come ball to my daddy, my husband's pistol. And he kept it, so my husband told him to bring my pistol back. He brought that pistol back, and I got that pistol today.
All right, so you was a pistol packing mama, and you was gonna take care of whatever business necessary, right?
Who? I didn't get back no for and didn't knock me. I didn't care who you was. You talk to me right, I can talk to you right. But if you step out of bounds, I'm gonna let you know how I feel.
All right. Now, and women kind of had an advantage there. You all could do that, but men couldn't do that.
I already know that.
During that time?
Because I know there was some white men around here with tough. But honey, I was just as tough as they was. I wasn't scared of them.
All right.
I really feel proud of my parents because they allowed us to become part of the movement, you know, and we weren't afraid.
And that took a lot of guts, didn't it?
That took a lot of guts. And I remember, like I told her, I remember when some of the, I guess they were from like Stokely Carmichael, Scotty B, and a lot of them that was at the house during that time.
John Lewis in that bunch?
You know what?
Right.
I don't know who all, because at that point I was a young lady, I don't know, but I knew she had a lot of them there. I remember when something happened, I don't know what happened, and they all rushed in. And she had all of us in the house. And that was another time I was kind of afraid too, because I didn't know whether they was gonna bomb the house, and something had happened. And I remember when all of those guys from Sneak and all of them, they came and they met in the house. I remember seeing guns, and I was afraid, and I didn't know what was going on. And all I know, they told us to take us somewhere, and all of us was to get down and lay down in there. I remember a lot of that stuff that was happening during that time that we was there.
Right.
So it was some scary times, you know.
Amen.
Yeah.
tears gone crying.